support.
All right, with us now, California Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray from the San Diego area. Thanks for coming on.
Great to be with you, Chuck.
Okay. The House Democratic leadership wants to introduce this resolution of disapproval, so it's not a censure. If Congressman Wilson doesn't go to the floor of the House and apologize, why do you think Congressman Wilson should go to the floor? I know Republican leaders have asked him.
I think that he can.
You think he should?
I think he should. I think he should point out that he not only made a mistake by speaking out, but he thought the president was talking about the House bill that he saw, that he knew that twice the Democratic Party said, no, we're not going to check if illegals are on or not. So he made the mistake of thinking, like a lot of us did, that the president was talking about the House bill, the Waxman bill, when the president obviously, when you get to the end of the speech, he said, this man obviously is not talking about the bill that we have before us in the House of Representatives. And only now do we generally know that the president was speaking of what he hopes to see come out of the Senate very soon.
You've been very vocal about this issue of coverage of illegal immigrants in the health care bill. So it sounds like you're giving the president the benefit of the doubt. You're waiting to see the legislation show up on the House floor before talking more about it.
Yeah, when I heard the president make that statement, I had the same mistake that Joe did, only I didn't say anything. But the fact is that anybody listening at that time would have said, wait a minute, the president's dead wrong. He hasn't looked at the bill. He hasn't looked at the Congressional Research Service that says that illegals will be able to participate in the House bill, that unless you check, unless you do a verification to make sure people aren't illegal, you know by history that illegals are going to have it.
Now, square this circle.
The president was separating. He was actually talking about another bill.
Square this circle for me. I mean, I think it seems like there's unanimity on this issue between Democrats and Republicans. Look, nobody wants to give somebody who's not an American citizen U.S. tax dollars, subsidize them, whatever, to get health care. But square the circle. Emergency room in San Diego. What do you do?
$600 million it's costing us just in my county. Well, first of all,
what do you do? Do you tell an emergency room, show me your ID?
No, but you would then at least notify that when you go in. And this isn't just illegals. You got foreign nationals that come in from Tijuana, go into emergency room, and they still get a border crossing card.
Right.
But I think the big issue here is you've got to understand that the checking, the using the same system that the new president has implemented for contractors, that you check over E-Verify, you check and make sure that everyone who's participating in the program is legal. But because the game that's been played is saying, oh, we're going to say nobody's allowed to do it unless they're legal, but we're not going to allow you to check. And as soon as you do that, this is the shell game that people are frustrated with. And I think it showed with Joe's outburst.
But I guess I go to, what should an emergency room do? Reject? I guess what I'm saying is what I'm trying to. Government. I understand that, but doctors take this Hippocratic oath, okay, yes, and to care for anybody. Somebody's got to pay for that care if they do this.
Chuck, in the 90s, I introduced a bill, and we had it passed to get the federal government, who's the deadbeat dad here, who mandates you provide the services and is responsible for the illegals being here. The federal government ought to be reimbursing those hospitals for providing that health care. That's our responsibility, and this is one of those things.
And you're okay with the federal government doing that? The
federal government ought to be paying for the things that they're responsible for now before we start promising more. We don't even pay for the cost of providing this mandated health care. We don't pay for the fact that we're responsible for the illegals being in this country, and we're not doing that, and we're already talking about making more promises. I think that's where the American people say, take care of business that you've got now before you start making any more big promises.
All right, you're a Californian. You've seen your party not do well statewide. It's been a struggle sometimes for Republicans in the state, Arnold Schwarzenegger being the exception. Do you worry about the image of the Republican Party nationally making it that much harder for Republicans in California to stage a political comeback?
Look, I think that the comeback is natural. There's ebb and flow here. I'm a surfer. I know when the tide comes in, it's going to come out. And I also know that if you want to know when a tidal wave's coming, it's not when the water gets high. It's when the water seems to be super low and never coming. And then you have the opportunists, which you're seeing now, who are trying to go get the low-lying fruit, pick up what's easy. Then the tide comes in so fast.
So you're not concerned about the image right now?
I think the image is one that we've got to address. We see that with our gubernatorial candidates. They're looking great. But again, you just got to really make sure that the extremists on the left may cause a backlash. And you're seeing a backlash right now where independents are coming to the Republican side, not because they like the Republican Party, but because they don't like to see what the extremists and the Democrats are doing.
Congressman Bilbray, thanks very much. Thanks for your views.
Thank you very much.